Hi, I'm Ryan Halaska, and today I want to talk a little bit about time. A new, I've been thinking about this today while I was taking a long walk. Okay, the idea is, something new, I think. I've never heard this anywhere. Okay, and this is gonna be, okay, we'll start with a percentage value that we will appoint to different points of time. Now, when I first thought of this, I was thinking about, you know, time as a frozen instance where everything is frozen. Now, how would this work? I would say that it would be the neutral sort of thing where there really are no physics anymore because gravity would not be working, it wouldn't be pulling anything, electromagnetic charges would just be static, there would be nothing. Time is frozen. Okay, this would be what I call 0% time. It's a neutral point. 100% time would be positive time, where everything works just fine the way we think of it, and negative 100% would be the time flowing in reverse, and which would actually be everything in physics working exactly opposite of the way it does in positive time, because gravity in positive time pulls things towards it, and negative time it would be pushing things away from it. Okay, so then you get the reverse, that you can see time actually moving in reverse, the way it's the way we think of time moving in reverse. If you press rewind on a tape and everything's going backwards, that would be negative time. If you're on play, it would just be 100% positive time. If you're on pause, it would be 0% time. It's just neutral. And it's not neutral because there is no existence of negative and positive time. It would be 0% because of the effect of positive time and negative time actually at the same time. Okay, that would be like some people. You got a problem, you can get rid of the yes and no, and then there is no problem. Or you can have both yes and no at the same time, and they would cancel each other out. That's the only difference there. So now we're getting into this. So I want to talk about conscious manifestation. So everything in what we perceive as reality is a result of a manifestation of what you consciously perceive, what you expect to be there. And what you expect to be there is going to be determined by how how would you come to expect something. The only way you come to expect something is by a series of things that occur. So it would be like if you see a ball in someone's hand and they let go of it, what do you expect would happen? It's going to fall to the ground, right? Well, the reason I'm saying this is because in quantum physics, whenever a person is looking at something at the quantum level, if they expect for it to be a wave, it will be a wave. The same thing can be looked at, the exact same thing, and if the person expects it to be a particle, it will be a particle. So that's an example of something physically changing itself based upon your perception of it. And then everything's made of light, right? Because light everything's a wave and a particle. So light itself is a wave and a particle. And since it's a particle, there's no difference between a wooden table and a light. coming out of a light bulb. The only difference is one is solid, or it's a particle, and the other one is a wave form, which is just a light spectrum thing. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about time travel. So, from my determination of it, it would be impossible to travel to the future. Okay? It would be possible, maybe, to travel into the past. Or to stop time. Well, if you're going to travel into 100% negative time, that would be reversing time. You would have to be able to vibrate at 100% positive while going through 100% negative to the point where everything reverses, and then when you get to where you want to be, you just, arrive there, you turn everything back into 100% positive time, and then it starts to flow. This wouldn't be the same universe as the past that you experienced. It would seem the same, sure, except the only difference would be that you're in a time machine and you're arriving at a place in the past that never happened. So how is this possible? Well, when you go back, you're actually truncating, splitting away from the universe you were created in, the universe that you created and were created in, and arriving in another universe that is exactly the same, but the only difference would be, that you're there from the future. I guess, yeah, the future. Now, it would be impossible to travel into the future because you're already at 100% time. There could be no way of actually speeding up time any faster to get to a future. And the fact that it has not been yet created by you could not get to a place. If you did, it would just be nothing but blackness. So what would be the point, and I don't even think that would be possible. Okay, but you could, in my summation, maybe go to the past. So this makes the whole theory of people who said, well, whenever a time machine that works is invented, that will be how far we can go into the past. And we will know, when time travel is made, because someone from the future will come to the past and tell us about it. And then we know that will be as far back as we can go in the past. So this would not be true in my theory, because the future is not yet created. So there could not be someone from the future of this universe coming back in what they would call to the past, which we would call the present. There could be no way of doing that because it wouldn't be created yet. But you could go into the past. I already explained that. Okay. So this would make the theory that we will know when we can go back into the past whenever we create a working time machine. Simple as that. Because the past that we go to is not going to be the past that we experience. It's going to be the same, just a little bit different, because we just traveled from the future. Now, this would not be in that time, in that universe. It would not be someone coming from the future. It would be someone coming from an entirely different universe, one in which the events of that time could happen exactly the same, or they could not. So then you get into if you go to a wholly different universe, regardless of whether you go back in time. Well, okay, let's say you go back in time to a wholly different universe, and you're exactly at the point that you remember, and you start back up and go at 100% positive time from that point. Then in what you remember, your mom didn't die. Well, in this one, things could change in any number of ways. Your mother could die. your brother. You know, whenever you're about to do something and for some reason you choose not to, and then you find out that, you know, if you would have done that, you would be dead. Well, maybe in the other universe that you just traveled to, a new one, maybe that person chose to go that way and didn't listen to that voice, and now they will be dead. It could be an infinite number of different possibilities because there's an infinite number of different universes within an infinite number of different time points of time. So, and an infinite number of combinations of those things. So, you know, I say you and I are the same being in different bodies. Well, how is that possible? Okay, well, it's because we are the expressions. Each of us are a different expression of let's see. Well, each of us has a different experience of the universe, obviously, but how are we the same? Okay, well, everything is the same concerning consciousnesses wise. There's only one consciousness, and that's, I'll just call it, you know, prime consciousness, where everything comes from. Some people call it God, you know, all these different things, but it's all the same thing they're trying to describe. But when you put it scientifically or try to, it gets kind of complicated. And the more you look into it and try to explain, the more complex it gets, because yet again, what you are expecting is usually what, well, the further you look out of the universe, the bigger the universe has to be in order to, you know, let you look further into the universe. The smaller you look at a particle, the smaller the universe has to become in that aspect to, you know, be what you would expect. So small and so big. Okay, so time that I'm talking about is not the exact same thing as time that we would experience. And this would be, an example of this would be if you did go to, let's say, 0 point time, neutral, where positive and negative are happening at the same time, which actually would cause nothing to be happening. There would be no physics. Everything would just be frozen, just like you press pause on a tape. But if you're there and you're experiencing it, you would be seemingly, you know, going through time just like normal, but that's a different thing than what the universe would be that's surrounding you. Time would not be moving in accordance with what you call time. It would just be stuck. And this is also it can be used to explain why, if time sped up, we wouldn't be able to tell it unless we were looking at a clock and the clock actually starts to speed up. We wouldn't feel it. It wouldn't feel any different. Okay, and then, you know, even if you're in reverse time, 100% reverse time, you would still be experiencing time regularly as it flows, but everything around you would be going in reverse, because the physics would be completely opposite of what they are in 100% time, which is where we are now. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to do for now. If anybody has any questions at all, feel free to comment and ask, and I'll try my best to answer them in a follow-up video, which I will be, the stuff will be based around the questions that people ask me. If no one asks anything, I'm not going to make another one. Alright, thank you.